Hallo und herzlich willkommen zur neuen Folge von Vampyr. Wir haben letztes Mal den Bruder gefragt. Wir sind durch die Kanalisation durch. Und von denen haben wir den Bruder befragt. Jetzt befragen wir ihn. Und warum sind sie noch nicht fortgegangen?
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're so exasperated by this long wait?
I believe fear is holding us back. My brother would have said it's laziness, but it's just because he's prouder than I am.
So, erzählen Sie mir von Ihrem Bruder.
What can you tell me about your brother?
He's older than me, I think. But the important thing is that I really hope I'll die before him. Grief would just kill me, you know?
Is that all?
Pericles is very attached to this city, and without my insistence, he would never leave this place. We don't often agree on anything, you see?
Die wissen schon, dass sie Brüder sind, aber das andere ist noch. Ich glaube, wir kennen sie so noch nicht so lange als Brüder, oder? Kann das sein? Persönliche Frage, was haben wir denn da? Auf wen warten sie eigentlich?
Who are you waiting for?
Was nehmen wir mal, um mit der eine andere Antwort kriegen?
I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be then?
I don't know. A feeling? An event? An impulse? How can I tell? Something that would allow us to leave this trap.
Was für eine Falle?
I'm afraid I'm not following you. What kind of trap are you talking about?
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role that does not fit you? That you're not in your place? That sort of trap.
London zu verlassen wird eine Befreiung sein.
Trap? And you think leaving London will free you?
At least it will give us the chance to be free. That's more than our present situation. Hope, Doctor. Hope is what truly drives mankind.
Mhm. Okay. Dann fragen wir nochmal, ob der den Dawson kennt.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
You should ask that question to my brother instead. Personally, I've not seen Aloysius for many years.
Okay.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker.
Wenn ich jetzt dann zu...
Good evening, Mr. Baker.
Why do I always have feelings of deja vu when I talk to you?
frage ich mich auch, warum ein Déjà-vu. Über über ihren Streit mit ihrem Bruder. Mal sehen, was er dazu zu erzählen hat.
Please, tell me why your brother disagrees with your presence here.
Agamemnon is naive sometimes. Although don't consider him a fool, sir. He is often more lucid than me.
Aha. Sie beide können nicht erklären, warum sie hier sind.
At least you both have the same difficulty explaining what you're doing, and for what reason.
But is that not a common problem for all mortals?
Sind die irgendwie auf Drogen oder was? Weil sie nicht wissen, warum, die nichts erklären können. So richtig, was sie eigentlich hier machen. Die sitzen sich auf eine Bank und warten. Aber die machen das wahrscheinlich so gesehen schon tagelang. Setzen sich tagelang auf die Bank und wissen nicht, was die eigentlich hier machen. Erzählen Sie mir von Ihrem Bruder.
What can you tell me about your brother?
If you are searching for a pleasant chat, you should speak with him instead of wasting your time with me. He has always been the more gentle of us.
That's it? That's all you can tell me about him?
For the time being, true kindness is the most valuable quality, my good sir.
Aha. Persönliche Frage? Gibt's hier erstmal
Goodbye,
nichts.
Mr. Baker.
So, da fragen wir mal den anderen Baker.
Hello again, Dr. Reid.
Ne, da gibt's erstmal nichts Persönliches mehr.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker.
Aber da war doch noch ein anderer Kerl da. Da. Warten Sie vielleicht auf den Kerl?
Good evening, sir. May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
Ihn so gesehen. Ich arbeite für den Ersten Club. Oder andere Fragen stellen. Mal gucken. Ich bin privat hier. Dafür habe ich keine Zeit. Wir können ja in die Wahrheit sagen. Ist ein Detective, also. Ja, oder wir können ihn einfach anlügen. Eine Notlüge, sage ich jetzt mal. Nö, wir machen das.
I work for the Ascalon Club. Here is my permit to go freely about the city.
The Ascalon Club? You should have said so, sir. I must warn you, these streets are dangerous. And you'd better be careful.
Okay, über Ihre Nachforschungen. Persönliche Fragen. Ihr Leben in London. Was hat er denn da? Was tun Sie wirklich hier?
What are you really doing here?
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
Arbeiten Sie allein?
Do you work alone?
Yes, the situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work to rule on their patrols.
Über die Lage im East End.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are there no police there to protect the civilians?
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
Okay. Erzählen Sie mir von der Nachbarschaft mal.
What can you tell me about this district?
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer on the loose.
Welcher Mörder?
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with the civilians, sir.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
So, wie steht es mit der Epidemie?
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor? Colleagues of mine die almost every day.
Warum ermitteln Sie nachts?
Why are you investigating at night?
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you noticed anything strange which requires police attention?
Ich habe nichts Seltsames bemerkt. Ich möchte Geografie McGollum melden. Kennen Sie Bansha?
Does the name Fergal ring a bell? Fergal Bansha.
Of course it does. Fergal Bansha, the Butcher of Galway. Hung in Dublin in 1857 for murdering more than 20 men with his bare hands. Why are you so interested in dead criminals, sir?
Persönlich? Erzählen Sie von diesem Mord, der dann Ihren.
Tell me all you know about that homicidal maniac you're looking for.
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist cult.
So. Über ihre Nachforschungen.
What are you investigating, exactly?
I have a missing woman, possibly abducted a few nights ago. Louise Teasdale. It seems you already found my other missing person, Mr. Tadao Kimura.
Tell me about Louise Teasdale.
She's a waitress. Her father reported her missing. We don't have enough men to search for her, sadly.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
No. But I feel she's been abducted. She went to a pub a few nights ago and vanished. I thought about the sewers, but I'm not equipped for such an investigation.
Du suchst nach einer vermissten Person, aber du weißt, dass sie in der Kanalisation sein könnte. Aber bist nicht gut vorbereitet genug, um da mal nachzuschauen?
What are you investigating, exactly?
I have a missing woman, possibly abducted a few nights ago. Louise,
Tell me about...
she's a waitress. No.
Ja, okay. Aber ich denke mich so, du suchst nur hier draußen rum, aber du weißt eigentlich, dass sie da unten sein kann.
Do you know anything in particular about a man called Aloysius Dawson?
Who doesn't know the man? I think he intervened personally to put an end to the police strike of last August.
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloysius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it. With just one phone call.
Goodbye, Detective Inspector Albright.
Goodbye, Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Okay. Ja, wir werden uns bestimmt widersprechen. Gut. Den einen, oder die eine haben wir, sagen wir mal so, haben wir ja eigentlich schon so gesehen. Da war doch jetzt noch was, da hat doch was aufgeleuchtet da. Ja, gehen wir erstmal doch mal da rein. Einen Unterschlupf gefunden, einen neuen. Schick. Erstmal. Ja. Wo geht's da raus? Wo bin ich hier? Kaltplan von Brivin. Oder Brivin. Aha. Okay, das sieht ein bisschen gefährlicher aus als die anderen Leute, sage ich jetzt mal. Falsche Taste, ich wollte die Taste. Da, aber mal, wir sind jetzt da. Da ist das, wo man nicht weiterkommt wegen wegen, weil es da die wegen Quarantäne. Und da unten, also gehe ich durch den Unterschlupf da nochmal durch. Was ist, wenn ich da runtergehe? Wo sind wir denn dann da? Ah, da geht's auch da runter, okay. Da gucken wir doch mal erstmal da hinten. Was haben wir da oben?
No civilians allowed, sir. Don't come closer.
Ich gehe ja schon wieder. Mann, beruhig dich. So, mal sehen, wie viele Leute fehlen uns noch auf der Liste hier, was hier wohnen? 3 weitere Leute. Der ist erschöpft. Kein Wunder. Der ist auch erschöpft. Und sie hat Kopfschmerzen. Sie sind unter uns. Aha. Tötet den Elkon. Ja, okay. Das machen wir. Da brauchen wir noch die Notizen. Warte. Und da haben wir es uns alles. Alles klar. Und der hat Kopfschmerzen, da ist erfolgreich. Dann haben wir ihr Vater das übergeben. Gut, also fehlen uns noch 3 Personen. So sind der in einen, was noch der Detektiv sucht in einen. Ach, das Plakat können wir gut genug. Wenn nicht jetzt dann. Ah, das sind ja noch 2 andere. Na, wolle, ich wollte erstmal noch. Da ist es mit der Quarantänetür. Dass man hier durch die Quarantänetür immer hier durchlaufen kann. Dass wir nicht außen rumlaufen müssen mehr. Und jetzt gehen wir noch gerne mal zu den beiden Personen mal rein. Da gibt es eine verschlossene Tür, aber jetzt reden wir trotzdem mal mit der.
Good evening, Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reid. Do you remember me?
Dr. Reid? Yes, of course. You are the doctor who healed me and my mum. Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Good to see you too, Carol. Are you all right?
Oh, yes. I did not hurt myself recently. I know how to take care of myself now. I'm almost a grown-up.
So, da fragen wir mal ihr Leben in London nach. Warum auch nachts wach?
Why are you awake at night, Carol?
I am helping my mother in her shop. It's not easy, but I'm a grown-up now.
Deine Mutter muss stolz sein.
I'm sure your mother is grateful for your help.
I do the best I can. But I'm so clumsy sometimes. I drop things. I injure myself. It's a good thing my mother has the patience of an angel.
Aber ist nicht leicht.
Why is work not easy? Is something or someone bothering you?
Oh no, most people are gentle with me. But I'm so nervous sometimes. I pay no attention and hurt myself. Good thing my mum learned first aid.
Die stottert ein bisschen, oder? Ist ein bisschen aufgeregt, die junge Frau. Erzähl mir einfach von der Nachbarschaft mal bitte.
What can you tell me of the people living nearby?
I don't speak to many people, except our customers. It's not easy to make friends. With the epidemic, it's even more difficult.
Haben Sie keine Freunde?
Have you no friends at all?
No. Mr. Nithercote used to pass by and was always nice to me.
Does he not come by anymore?
No. Mum said he was weird. Always reciting poetry about a girl he'd met in Whitechapel. I wonder who this camellia may be.
Erzähl mir von der Epidemie.
What can you tell me about the epidemic?
Some of our regular customers have left London. Some others only send their housemaids now. Everybody fears the contagion. I've even seen men with weapons.
Okay. Persönliche Fragen. Arbeitest du gerne mit deiner Mutter?
Do you enjoy working with your mother?
Oh yes, Doctor. My mother raised me alone after my father died. We've always lived together, and she has always watched over me.
Denkst du ans Heiraten?
Do you ever think about getting married now you're a woman?
Oh no, Dr. Reid. Mum always says I'm still a child who has no idea how tough life can be. No husband would like a clumsy girl like me.
Erinnerst du dich an deinen Vater?
Do you remember your father?
No, I was just a baby then. My mother always told me how strong and good he was.
Okay. Und dann fragen wir mal über den Dawson.
Have you ever met the famous Aloysius Dawson?
Yes, a very strange man. Not very nice.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books, and then laughed at what we showed him.
Okay.
Goodbye, Carol.
Dr. Reid, I am glad to see you.
I am sorry, I can't help you, sir. Perhaps you should talk with someone else instead.
Soll es nicht
You can stay a little longer.
da irgendwas drin sein eigentlich in den Vitrinen? Schmuck oder irgendwas?
Good evening, Miss Price. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reid, I didn't know you had returned from the war. I had a new doctor when you left, but he's not as kind as you.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
Oh, Einkauf. Die handelt gerne. Persönliche Fragen. Über den Zustand ihrer Tochter.
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss Price? I remember you were often concerned about her health when she was younger.
Have you not seen Carol since you returned? She's almost a young woman now. But she'll always remain my sweet little baby.
So you're less afraid.
Some things never change. Carol is still too clumsy for her own good. Sometimes her innocence puts her in real danger.
Ihre Arglosigkeit gefährdet sie.
Why would her innocence put her in danger?
She does not realize how cruel life can be. Maybe I was a bad mother to protect her too much. My poor dear Carol.
Es ist gut, vorsichtig zu sein.
You have every reason to be cautious, Miss Price. Especially in these difficult times.
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reid. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safer.
So, da haben wir erstmal das abgefrühstückt. So, aber jetzt fehlt uns so gesehen nur noch eine Person, was hier drin ist. So gesehen wirklich dann die, was der Detektiv sucht. Wahrscheinlich ist es dann die Person. Außer dass die eine Person, was er sucht, ist tot. Wer weiß. Ihr Leben in London. Erzählen Sie mir von Ihrem Beruf.
What can you tell me about yourself, Miss Price?
I'm still managing my shop. The only difference is, since the quarantine, we're open at night. You, on the contrary, seem to have changed a lot.
Ich habe mich so stark verändert. Erzählen Sie mir von sich.
Really? Have I changed that much? It must have been the war. And the night shifts since my return.
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reid, you're still handsome. Just maybe a little bit wiser. More serious. It suits you well.
Tell me more about yourself. No new fiancé? I remember you were hoping to get remarried. I'm sure you must have a few suitors.
Who would marry an old bat like myself with a grown daughter and a little business? As you know, I only fancy handsome men like yourself.
So. Erzählen Sie mir von der Nachbarschaft.
Have you noticed anything in particular in this part of town recently?
Other than you coming back to cheer me up? Nothing at all, Dr. Reid.
Über Carols Dankbarkeit.
Carol's gratitude is exemplary. She seems determined never to leave you.
I'm taking care of my daughter as well as I can. It's not always easy, but she's the best gift life gave me.
But she'll probably leave you someday to live her own life. Will that be difficult for you?
Why would she leave? Children sometimes stay with their parents until the end, for they know no one else will love them as much.
Haben wir da hier was dann dafür? Nee. Was hat die zum
May
Handeln?
I look at your goods, Miss Price?
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Reid. Take all the time you need.
Mal sehen, was hat sie denn da Schönes? So, okay. Ach, das sind Sachen zum Verkaufen. Okay, ich verstehe. Gut, braucht erstmal nichts. Sie ist erschöpft und sie auch. Und das ist verschlossen. Aber warum?
It's locked.
Gibt es noch einen anderen Weg? Einen anderen Weg vielleicht da rein? So. Wie gesagt, es fehlt uns noch eine Person. Wo könnte diese Person... Achso, das ist das. Da ist dem hergekommen. Bin ich eigentlich noch im Suchgebiet? Ach, ich bin gerade eben im Suchgebiet. Okay. Vielleicht muss ich doch an die anderen da vorbei. Ja, okay, das kennen wir schon. Was haben wir hier? Okay. Okay, wir haben einen Inder. Oder wir können auch sagen, vielleicht Wahrsager? Aber das ist der...
Perhaps London will survive the epidemic, but I see terrible trials awaiting in the future.
Er ist ein Wahrsager. Alles klar.
Jonathan Reid. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they tell me everything. They told me that you struggle hard not to take too many lives.
Ist es nicht der, was eigentlich der... der Detektiv, der andere, was der Detektiv sucht? Erschöpft. Okay, wir haben nichts zum Erschöpfung.
May I ask you about the
Da.
Brotherhood?
Of course. But I must warn you that there are some subjects we consider taboo, in spite of our fondness and acceptance of your kind.
Ja, die Bruderschaft gegründet.
Who founded the Brotherhood?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars.
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
Über die Wache von Breven.
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then, a strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Wisst ihr aber was? Mit Ihnen reden wir erst in der nächsten Folge weiter. Ich sage vielen herzlichen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Haut rein. Ciao.